Oh my God. Send it to me, Jimmy.
Got it.
You're good. It's lasting.
Come on, camera. There you go. Oh man, I might have another one.
That is awesome.
That's a great one.
Hey YouTube comic community, this is Jimmy the Geek Aficionado, and I came back from Megacon with a massive, massive stack of books. This is half of what I brought back, which was not what I had intended to do. So I'm splitting this video into two parts, and we're going to go over different ones in the two parts. This one's going to be focused on the gorgeous covers. That's right. So we got some rare and hard to find covers in this show. So I'll break it down. I had only intended to go and look for some original art and find some older books that that I've been looking for, some early Journey into Mysteries and Tales to Astonish and Tales of Suspense, stuff like that I wanted to fill out and finish off these runs. But I really wanted to look for some original art. Needless to say, I never made it to Artist Alley the entire weekend that I was there. Well, I was only there like one full day, and that full day was this. But I was there with my good friends Hialeah Comic Bro, with Stone Cold Steve Whiting, with Conquistador's Javi, with Stay Puff, Stay Puff's brother, Jamil. Who else did we have there? We had Cookie from Just a Little Podcast. It was great hanging out with all of these guys, Doyle Comic Art, and of course, who can forget the great Comics with Bueller. And shout out to Hialeah's good friend T-Bone, T-Boner that we're calling him on Instagram, hanging out with us the entire time. We had a great time hanging out with him. It was a lot of fun, especially when we went out and had dinner with Bueller and with Steve, and had drinks and everything. It was just a great time all around. So fabulous time, fabulous show, great people to hang out with and go hang out at a show with. But nonetheless, let's get to the books. Like I said, I wasn't planning to buy. I didn't want to stuff a whole bunch of books in my suitcase, and that's exactly what I ended up doing, because I found so much rare stuff. And when I say rare, it's probably not really rare, but it's just stuff I don't find often out, in stores or in the wild. So let's kick it off a little bit. These, I believe, I got from, I want to say I got these from Torpedo. Torpedo had a booth there. These are Adam Hughes. This is issue number 3 of Fairchild, with a gorgeous cover, classic Adam Hughes style cover. And this one as well, this is Fairchild number 8. This is another classic cover from that series. So dig that. And Fairchild number 9. Beautiful, just beautiful Adam Hughes work. And lastly, Fairchild number 10, which, I love the work from Adam Hughes. It's fantastic. It absolutely is. And speaking of Adam Hughes, I think this is also from Torpedo. This is X-Men Classic number 79. Now, most people don't know that Adam Hughes did some covers for X-Men Classic, and he did this great Jean Grey cover of Dark Phoenix. It's actually, so it's a reprint of an issue that I almost got some interior art pages on. This is from I believe it's Paul Green is the interior artist, and that's not actually Jean Grey. That's Madeline Pryor, who's being manipulated by Mastermind, much the same way that the Jean Grey was. But very cool, nonetheless. Great art. This one, we're sticking with Adam Hughes for right now. This one came from probably the first booth that I actually visited with Hialeah. We were just kind of searching around for some stuff. Came across this bin. It was, buy 2 get 1 free on Bronze Age books. We're like, really? Seriously? That's where we're going with this? But I'll showcase some of those in another the next video. But this one was one we just kind of it was just like on the side. And again, something I don't ever see in the wild. It's Adam Hughes Phantom Lady. It's a square bound prestige format. It's gorgeous. It's in incredible condition. It's easily a 9.6. I probably will have it slabbed. It's just so hard to find. But it features reprints of early Phantom Lady stories from the Golden Age with just a remarkable cover. So love that. Back to the Torpedo booth. This is where we're gonna shift gears. This is a combination cover. This is DV8 from Image, and this is done by both Adam Hughes and Dave Stevens. So what you need to know is that the work, I want to say the work in the mirror is Adam Hughes, and everything else is Dave Stevens. So that's a pretty cool, impressive book. And I was happy to get that. I'm trying to finish off my Dave Stevens run of the covers that he did before his passing. There's not a lot of them. I think I'm a little over halfway there, especially now that I went through this haul here. This one also from the Torpedo booth. This is True Love. Just a great Dave Stevens cover. Right, incredible work that he does. So happy to find that one. Later in the day, we went over to a friend of Sean and Steve's booth. It's Ybor City Comics, and I was just digging in some back issues, and I found these. Dave Stevens, World of Wood. So the interiors is Wally Wood. And I want to say it's the cover is a combination of Wally Wood and Dave Stevens. I want to say that the exterior here is Wally Wood, but the interior panel here is done by Dave Stevens. So that's fantastic. Issue 1, I believe, is also done by Dave Stevens, but this is issue number 2. Cool sci-fi stuff done by the late great Wally Wood and the late great Dave Stevens. Okay, here we go. So these were, let's save this one for later, different conversation. So this one was also from Ybor City. I was just digging through their back issues, just cheap stuff, and I found this phenomenal. Joe Jusko, I Dream of Jeannie. It's crazy, right? I mean, it's crazy. It's so good, and it's so realistic. He's a master and doesn't get enough respect, I don't think. But Joe Jusko, I Dream of Jeannie, that one's fantastic. Let's see, there was another one. Oh, I also found there for Cantonese Comic Kid. Jeff was unable to make it with us because, unfortunately, he got sick shortly before the show. So I did find him a Frazetta sketchbook that he dug. So that was good. Oh yeah. Well, speaking of Joe Jusko, I also found this gorgeous piece. This is a Vampirella, just some one-off, random one-off Vampirella, but it's done by Joe Jusko, and it's incredible. Absolutely incredible. All right. I was just in another area. I was actually near Nerdy Girl Comics' booth, and it was some local people. And they had this for super cheap. And it's, it's a near mint copy. It's Terminator, The Burning Earth, issue number 1. This is the first work by Alex Ross in comics. So couldn't turn it down. Never had a copy of it before. But as you can see, it's the telltale work that he does. It's always so incredible. Back over to that booth that I got the books from, that Phantom Lady from. I had gotten a stack of stuff from them because I just kind of kept digging through some of the work that was in there, and I came across some really great stuff. So I'm at that booth. I cannot remember the name of these guys. You know what? I do think that these were featured by the Holics. These are the guys from, I want to say they're up in Atlanta. Anyway, so I'm in this booth, right? And who do I run into? Rob from Red Hood Comics. And I do a lot of his pressing. So, he hadn't seen me, like face to face in years. So I run into him, and he's looking through a whole bunch of books, and I was checking this guy out, this G.I. Joe issue number 2. Cover B, this is Adam Hughes Baroness cover. That's just incredible. I have this in, but it's from a different series, and it was a convention exclusive. And I think this is the one that actually came out first. But I was passing on it because it didn't, it's got some spine ticks on the back, and I was really looking for a, super high grade 9698 copy. It's probably like a 94. So I was going to pass on it, and Mr. Red Hood, Rob himself, A-okayed this to me. So thank you, sir, very much. This is wonderful. It's a very much appreciated gift. Thank you again for all that you do for me. I'm digging through the boxes that I think he was digging through earlier, and I did find some really cool stuff. This gorgeous Witchblade cover from Mark Silvestri, this pencil sketch cover, it's fantastic. And it was like dirt cheap. I want to say this. Some of this stuff was like $1. We've got a Fathom 7B Canadian Fan Expo cover from Mike Turner. Incredible work as always. And speaking of Mike Turner, this was up on the wall, so this one cost me a little bit. It's Civil War number 7, Mike Turner variant. I think it's like the C cover. But Mike Turner did a variant for each one of these Civil War books, and I've been trying to collect them all. Another book that was up on the wall, this one here. It's a Marvel Zombies homage by Arthur Sudam of Amazing Spider-Man number 50. This is Marvel Zombies number 1. This is I want to say this is the 3rd print variant. And I'm looking for the ones that are homages to actual classic covers, and this one's definitely one of the ones on the list. They had the first print issue number 1, but they wanted too much for it, so I passed. But got this guy for a good price. This was in one of their boxes. This is Alien Encounters number 8 from Eclipse Comics. I just kind of dig the whole Marilyn Monroe with the nuclear explosion in the background. It's a fun book. This one cost me some coin. Civil War number 1 Mike Turner variant. See, I can tell you some of the stuff's out of order, but this is a great get because I'm really certain that this is a 9.8. So I'm looking forward to having that one slabbed up and going next to the 3 that I've got. All right, so this is my ubiquitous. Not ubiquitous. This is my the part of the show where I say, turn off if you're small children and you're watching, because you probably shouldn't be watching this part. I did find one of my favorite artists forever has been Olivia de Berardini. She's a French female artist, and she does incredible work. So much so that I named my eldest daughter after her because I love the work so much. My wife and I both very much adore the stuff that she does. She did these covers for these reprints of Torchy comics from Innovation, and they're a bit risque, as you can see in this one. But as you can also tell, the artwork is incredible. And then I've again never seen them in a wild, and I thought they were just absolutely fantastic. Here's another one. This is Torchy number 3, and the interiors are all just they're Golden Age reprints. So the interior does not definitely reflect what's on the exterior. Also hiding in those boxes where I found those is this copy of Cheval Noir number 7 with another wild Dave Stevens cover. Again, one of his more risque pieces with a Wild West girl on there who is very scantily clad, but incredible. It needed a press, so I pressed it out. It's got a little color breaking corner right up in here, but I don't care. I just want it for the cover, and the cover is great. So that helps with my Dave Stevens collection. Back to last book before we go back to the Torpedo booth. So this one, there was a little bit of a disagreement over this one. I had this one in my stack initially, and it got pulled out without my knowledge. And then when I finished paying for it, I was looking for it and couldn't find it. And he said, no, I don't want to sell that. So I came back and I said, okay, what do you want for the book? And we were able to settle on a price that was probably only $15 higher, but it was well worth it. This is Teen Titans number 88 with a variant cover by Adam Hughes featuring Ravager, Raven, and Wonder Girl. It's one of 2 variant covers that Adam Hughes did for the series. I'm still looking for that 75 with Starfire on it. Just holding out for it. Once I find it, it's on the list for this year, but I don't know if I'm going to get it. It's been super hard to find, but I've never seen this in the wild. So when I did see it, it was I wasn't going home without it. That's all I can tell you. And the most that ties with this book as the most expensive book the single item that I bought over the weekend. And I got this from the Torpedo booth. It's Zatanna Everyday Magic. Again, with a great Brian Boland cover. Nothing else really exciting about it, just that. So that's definitely helpful. So another great thing that I found at the Torpedo booth, dug these out of boxes. I don't know how they wound up in there or not. I think this one was from the Torpedo booth. This might be from the other one. I don't remember. But this Gotham City Sirens issue number 6. It's in great shape. Yeah, I think this one definitely came from Torpedo because it's in such high quality. It's a 9/8 candidate, right? So I wanted to get the 4, 5, 6, or is it 5, 6, 7? I don't remember. With Catwoman, Poison Ivy, and Harley Quinn, all in 9/8. But so this one's a possibility. This was in a $2 box. I don't think they realized it because they were like, "What do you mean it was in the $2 box?" I'm like, "It was in the $2 box." It's Batgirl number 13 by Art Germ. So definitely not something that people are putting $2 on. So I've got 2 left to get. I've got 12 and 14. That's all I've got left for the Batgirl run. Of course, 12, everybody wants massive money for it because it's a super cool cover. And I'm like, I like it, but I don't know about that much money. Okay, so last thing I did at the Torpedo booth, I got to see the great Frank Cho. And I brought this with me because I read it on the plane. And it's Fight Girls number 1, and I had him sign it. So not something I bought at the show, but something I got at the show. I got that signature. So thank you, Frank. Appreciate it. Back at the Ybor City booth, yeah, like I said, stuff's all over the place. Back at the Ybor City booth, because I got to show this off because it's so fantastic. It was like in one of their dollar books, dollar bins. Gen 13 bikini pinup with a Joe Chiodo cover of Fairchild. I've never seen this before, and it's fantastic. And I love Joe Chiodo's work. It's incredible. He is such one of the greatest underappreciated artists I think I've ever seen. Love all his work, and this is fantastic. So thank you, sir. That is a great piece that's staying with my collection. Now, we're down to the last 2 pieces, right? Like I said, this is a huge haul, and I still have another video to do. Down to the last 2 pieces, though, and this first one was the first thing I bought when I was there. And I loved it so much because it's not exactly an homage, but it's another take. And it's a Vampirella cover. And it's done by Sarah Frazetta, the granddaughter of Frank Frazetta. And it's similar in style to the classic Vampirella number 1. Now, if you look at the face that was done on this, it's very similar to the way that Frank drew Vampirella on that first cover. Less used version of it, but so I think it's great that she was trying to go into that style of what he did as respect to her grandfather. But it's a fantastic cover. It was a little pricey, but you know what? It was worth it to me to get, so I love it. It's a great cover. And the very last thing was the only slab that I got the entire weekend. And it's one that I was waiting until it went down in price. which, you know, was crazy to say. And it's because it's a lower grade, and it doesn't look like it should be a lower grade. But they had it up, and there was this booth that had this rack, and it was like the slabs were like 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, like, you know, that was the rows, right, with like the different dollar amounts. And I watched this book go from this row to this row to this row. Then I was like, okay, I'll take it. It's on that row. And it's a copy of Alter Ego magazine with a Sheena cover by Dave Stevens. It's a 7.0, and nobody who's looked at this thinks that it should be a 7.0. But it's a great piece for me to look at. It's a great copy for me to have. It didn't cost me a lot of money, and I absolutely love it. I love the Sheena character, and I love Dave Stevens' Sheena, especially with this panther that she's got on there. So it's very cool. That's all I've got. Stay tuned for episode number 2, or part 2 of this video, where I show off a huge stack of Batmans and other books that I got, some Bronze Age stuff, some Independence, just some other great stuff. But this was the hot cover edition, and I'm going to leave you with this. And thank you for clicking play on the video. Please click the like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks.